So who am I? I'll let you know more about me, but I'm going to start off with a quick story. So strap in, get ready, it's story time. I found myself laying on the ground and I was writhing in agony. I was just squirming, I was in so much pain I couldn't sit still. And the only thing that was going through my head at the time was, I can't believe I did this again. I was in a martial arts class. I landed with my leg awkwardly behind me in a jump, and my full body weight wrenched on my hip, and I just felt electric waves of pain shooting throughout my whole lower body. And something similar had happened to me maybe 6 or 7 years prior. I was in high school, and there was a weightlifting accident. I was trying to squat with a really heavy weight. The pins weren't set properly on the equipment, so as I set the weight back down, it crashed onto me, crashed onto my head, slammed my head right into the ground, right between my feet, which is the only time I've ever been in that position in my entire life. And that first recovery took me maybe 6 months, and I was just a teenager. I just kind of, once it felt okay, I started running on it again and just ignoring it. But after the second time it happened, I was in serious pain for months and months and months. I could barely walk, and I would just be taking the stairs, and all of a sudden my leg would just crumple underneath me and I would start tumbling down the stairs, and it was a very long recovery. But again, same story. I just kind of lived with it, dealt with it until it felt somewhat better. But in the back of my head, I always knew this was my weak side. I had to baby it. It was never quite right after that. Fast forward many years, I had an office job, and I spent so much time sitting, so much time in this position. I felt that same pain started to come back slowly but surely, worse day after day, building. And I had this moment of realization that if I didn't do something about this pain, I would have to deal with it for the rest of my life. It would be my constant companion, and it would just have to be something I'd live my life around. And then I also had that realization that this is what getting older is. This is what everyone experiences to some degree, is this accumulation of insults to the body, injuries to the body, and they just pile up. But I was determined to find a way to destroy that pile, clear it, make space, find peace in my body, find happiness in my body. So I found a book on self-massage, and I set aside time every night. I made a little ritual of it. I set the mood lighting down low, put on some nice music, maybe some candles, laid out a yoga mat, and I would just lay there and I would read this book on self-massage, and I realized, when I touched especially this part of my hip, it was so tender. Even to the slightest, even a pound of pressure was just excruciating. And I realized, this was really the root of what I was experiencing. And I realized how much pain was just being stored in my body, and my body was just being this faithful servant and doing its best. And in that moment, I also had a thought of, it dawned on me that I was always a pet lover, I was always a pet owner, and if you're a pet owner, you probably know the same. I would do anything for my pets. I would take him to the vet in the middle of the night. One of my dogs was sick. I had to carry her down 3 flights of stairs. She was 50 pounds and she wanted to bite me every time I took her down the stairs. But I was willing to do it because I loved her. And so I thought to myself, I should treat my body with the same love that I treat my pets. So I think my body is a pet. And that really inspired me to take care of myself. So through this ritual, I learned, yes, there was a lot of physical pain. There was a lot of knots in my muscles that needed to work out. But then there were these deeper layers that started to expose themselves, that I also had a lot of anxiety and fear. I worried so much that this would, it would cost me days at work. It would cost me the ability to, live the rest of my life, to be able to take the stairs. Would I ever be able to run again properly? Would I ever be able to play sports of any kind? It also, all the fears about money and all those things. I had it really struck at my identity. It struck at that level of my personality, where I saw myself once as this young, invincible teenager, and now I was this double-overed older man, And then there was other emotions tied up with that. There was anger at myself for letting this happen, and regret for how it happened in the first place. And I realized that these were all parts of pain as well that really need to be addressed, and they're not properly addressed by just taking pills or injections or surgeries. There's still always that level that it really affects you on an emotional level of being, and also an identity level of being. So this was the beginning of my career as someone that has helped others. It's my mission to help others, people get out of pain and stay out of pain for the rest of their life. And I use several different modalities for that. If you're in the Massachusetts area and you want to visit me for a one-on-one, I do one-on-one work. I do orthopedic massage therapy, and I specialize in orthopedic injuries, but especially injuries on nerve entrapments when there's serious pressure going onto your nerves and blocking the flow of nerve sensation. But for a lot of people watching this video, you will not be in the Massachusetts area. You'll be somewhere in the world, who knows. And for you, I have another service special as well, is that I'm a hypnotist. I provide hypnotherapy, and hypnosis is really a beautiful, wonderful tool to deal with those other layers of pain, especially chronic pain. The level of when pain starts to become part of who you are, it becomes part of how you expect life to be. It changes your belief system. You have all these emotional reactions around pain, fear, sadness, anger. And once those layers start to fall away, you'll find a level of peace that you may have not experienced for a while there. Human beings are unique in the level of suffering that we can put on top of sensations, right? So pain is a sensation. And then we double down on it with these layers of suffering and anguish that we experience. And so even by just reducing that, you can experience a tremendous amount of relief. But that doesn't stop there. Hypnosis is a proven technique for reducing the sensations of pain, because pain is not just a sensation that just, ow, my arm, it just goes 100% to your brain. Your brain just says, ouch. No, it's not like that. Your brain interprets that signal from your body, and depending on all these other factors, several complex processes happen, and the final output of that we call pain. So at any part of that, you can intervene. You can use this proven technique of hypnosis to interrupt that signal of pain. You can turn it down just like you're turning down the volume on some music, for example. And so these are techniques I was using for myself. I'm a very seasoned meditator. I've been meditating since I was a teenager, but I also studied as the disciple of a Buddhist monk for 4 years. I also lived in China for 2 years and studied Tai Chi and meditation there. I went on to study in India under several teachers, a specific style of meditation, and I've gone on to study other teachers there as well since I returned to Massachusetts. And so I think of hypnosis as a way that it is kind of applied meditation, that I'm the guide and I'm leading you through that place where you can relax and be at ease, that final stage right before sleep. And in that place is when you can actually tell your mind, your subconscious mind, what you want to experience. You can think of your subconscious mind as an operating system. This is the hardware, and that's really the software. That operating system is your subconscious mind. And it's really not accessible in day-to-day life as you're just going through the motions of the day. Most of that is just your conscious mind, and it's just mostly habits and routines. But when you're in hypnosis, when you're in that open and receptive place, that's when new information can become part of who you are. It can change your beliefs, it can change your expectations, it can change your emotional reactions. So that's a quick story about how I've gotten to this place and what I do working with my clients. And there's also going to be further information. You can click on this part over here that talks about body work and what makes my body work special. And then you can also click on this other part down here. This is talking about my hypnotherapy services, that talks about what makes my hypnotherapy services unique and how both of these services can really combine to help you stay out of pain for the rest of your life. Can help you stay out of pain, can help you get out of pain, stay out of pain, and use techniques that I'll teach you so you can keep that comfort, that pleasure in your body for the foreseeable future. So look around, and if you have any comments, you can let me know. There's a contact me section, and you can also look in the top section over there. There's a button to book. So since you've watched this video for so long, you're interested, I would say just go ahead and take the next step. Book an initial consult with me and learn how these services can be used to change your life for the better. Thank you.